Hey! Hi! So this is a bit of a different video for me. I've never made informative kind of video on my YouTube before, but I thought, what the hell, there's so many people out there struggling with anxiety, with depression, with depersonalization or OCD, all of those things, that it felt like something that might help just one person. And I mean, my channel is not getting amazing crazy views or anything like that, but I don't really care. I just want to make these for myself to look back on, and just in the hope that it might again help just one person out. So this is all about my recovery from anxiety and depersonalization. Maybe's come along for the ride. Haven't you, darling? Hey. I'm still in my yoga gear. Sorry, I didn't really prep a lot for this vid. But okay, I'm here. I showed up. So basically, I'm just going to run through some steps that I've been using to sort of quell the anxiety that comes up in me. I have changed my mindset a lot recently around anxiety, and that's through hitting rock bottom, basically through depersonalization. But look, I used to think that anxiety was me. I used to think, oh, I'm an anxious person and that's it. Even my doctor said to me, you have generalized anxiety disorder. He said it in that way, that it's just this is me now, and it's a life sentence and I have to deal with that. But I'm kind of coming around through research of my own and through going to therapy. I'm kind of coming around to the idea that I don't have to have anxiety forever. And that's a big one. And I don't reckon you do either. You don't have to have anxiety forever. It's a big thing, hey? It's a big sentence. And you're probably like, what? But I've just been doing a protocol that I've put together through a lot of research, through my university studies, but also just through going to therapy and different friends and different YouTube channels I've been watching. And I've been doing the protocol every day, and I'm feeling a lot better and starting to really believe that you don't have to have it as a life sentence. So that's why I'm making this. And it's just kind of to keep myself accountable as well, and at least have this to look back on whenever the feelings arise again in my, future. I can be like, okay, this was working at the time. I have a lovely community of people on Instagram. If you want to come over, it's Emma_Beau. And on Twitter and Facebook, who also struggle with different mental health things. So here we are. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to get into it now. Tip number 1. So tip number 1, I did not like this at all. I'm a musician. I just like lying in bed and just being sad. Not really. But on a serious note, I did a podcast interview the other day with a lovely girl called Imogen Clark, and she was talking about the benefits of exercise, and I was like, oh yeah, because I recorded the podcast about a month ago. Anyway, it was probably about a week later I started to struggle really badly with depersonalization, and it was my rock bottom moment, and I knew I had to change some things. So I started exercising, and it has made the world of difference. So one day I'm doing cardio, the next day I do weights, and then walking and yoga is just on top of those other 2 staples. So if you're struggling with anxiety, I know how hard it is to just exercise. You're probably like, what? And also, it can bring on feelings of panic and dread. So I get it, but it's one of those things that I'm going to get to in a minute. But anxiety, all it is just a feeling. It's never hurt you before. It can feel so scary and so life-altering. But really, has it ever hurt you? Has it ever not gone away? It's just a very short period of feeling yucky, but it never hurt you once. So this morning, for instance, when I was at yoga, I felt those feelings come up. I thought, something's wrong. My chest is feeling funny. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel sweaty and like I need to run. But I just stuck it out, and I did my best, and I remembered that if I had to go, that was also fine. If I had to tell the teacher, that was also fine. I wasn't gonna go crazy or anything like that, so I just stuck with it, and it went away. So that's something to think about. Obviously, if you're going to try things like that, just get your doctor to check it off first, but it really, really helps. Okay, number two. Number two, oh, I was not happy about this, guys. I was just not happy about it. But through all of my research, I came to the conclusion that caffeine had to go. And since it's gone, I have felt a lot better. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it cured everything, but it helped a lot. So I have found this decaf coffee at my local health food shop. Look, it's not bad. It's pretty good. I've tried a few different ones. I find this one is the nicest tasting, but my local coffee shop has one that tastes incredible. So I'm gonna have to check that out. But that's been really good. So I have my little coffee every morning, and then my tea. I found this one at Woolies and it's really nice. You know, I might keep looking for another brand because I'm not sold on the Lipton one, but it helps. So just getting rid of that caffeine has been good. Number three is researching your condition. It probably sounds crazy because I study mental health. I'm studying to become a therapist. And you'd think, wow, she'd know a lot about anxiety and her condition. But I kind of put it in the too hard file. When I read my studies, I kind of thought about everyone else but me, because it's such a state-specific thing, anxiety, and you'll know that if you have it. I just kind of didn't want to apply it, and it sounds crazy, but you kind of ignore that and you're like, no, I've got to keep focused. I've got to just focus on everyone else, and you leave yourself to the background, and that's a form of self-sabotage as well. But I kind of had to get real with what I'm going through. So that's when I bought the DP manual by Sean O'Connor, and he goes through all the tips of anxiety and exercise and stopping caffeine and things like that as well. But basically, I just had to get real and I had to get researching. And through my research, I really found out that you are not your anxiety. I am not my anxiety. Anxiety is just a visitor. You can call it it. This book has been amazing. So it's called Living with It, and it describes anxiety as the it. But basically, it's not you. It's just a thing that visits sometimes. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You're not going to go crazy. You are safe. It just makes you feel a little bit more normal about everything. And it detaches anxiety from you and from me and puts it into something else completely, and that's its own identity that is separate from you. So when you're having a panic attack now, you can think, okay, this isn't me. This is just this thing, it, visiting. And that's that. It's going to pass, it goes away, it's nothing to be afraid of, and life goes on. There's also a few YouTube channels that I've found really helpful in my recovery, and that's Sean O'Connor's YouTube channel. Another one I found was by a guy called Jordan. I can't think of his name right now, but I'll put it down in the comments section below. Have a look at his videos if you're going through health anxiety, depersonalization, or just general anxiety, because it was so helpful. A really big thing I struggle with is a feeling of safety, and I get really scared about not feeling safe. So he talks about those feelings and how, you know, I used to always lock myself in one part of my house, or like just in the lounge where I'd feel safe. Or if I had a panic attack, I thought, fuck, I gotta get to the car because the car's my safe space. But the car isn't any different to anywhere else. I'm my safe space. I'm my safe space wherever I am in the world, and I'm learning that. Don't get me wrong, I haven't got it down pat, but it's getting better. The next thing that's been really helpful is my Fitbit. I never thought I would say that either, but I've got a Fitbit. It's like the Versa one, and it just helps me keep track of steps and things like that. More importantly, I'm realizing at the moment, heart rate. So looking at my heart rate and seeing if I'm too aroused, sounds like a, yeah, no, just, you know, mentally aroused, not. Anyway, seeing if I'm really too pumped up in any moment and just bringing that heart rate back down with breathing, and it's so helpful. There are moments where I don't even realize I'm worked up, and then I look at the Fitbit and realize my heart's at like 110, and I'm like, whoa, hang on. So take some deep breaths. Take one with me if you want. Let it out. And I can just watch that heart rate go down. Okay, this is one that is talked about all the time, and that is journaling. I found journaling to be amazing at the moment. I do a morning dump. I cannot say that without laughing. A morning dump is basically just every thought that comes into your head as soon as you wake up, write it down. Write whatever it is down and just have it there. You can think about it later, or maybe you don't. It's just to have it there. But also journaling things like what you want to talk about in therapy, what feelings came up in a day. It's just a space where you can sometimes make sense of all the jumble and the fast thoughts in your head, and just, yeah, get them out basically. So that's a really helpful one if you haven't tried journaling. Another kind of annoying one, but it's legit, and I know a lot of people watching this will probably already do this, but it's getting your space clean. If you have a cluttered space, you often have a cluttered mind. So when I wake up in the morning, I just now make my bed straight away. I make sure the house is kind of decent, and it really gives me a lift and just makes me feel a bit more put together when sometimes there's a lot of chaos in here. Honestly, if you get a pug, be prepared for so much farting. But yeah, just making sure everything feels nice goes a long way to your mental space. Connecting with friends and family. This has been a really big one for me going through depersonalization, but also when the anxiety was playing up, I was cutting myself off. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just catch up with friends on the phone, or I'll just FaceTime someone, or just have a chat over Messenger. It's not the same. You need to get to know people. You need to go to classes. You need to know your neighbor. Say hello to these people. I know there's a trend of, oh, I'm like cool and humans suck and whatever. But it's at times like these where you really realize that connection is the biggest healer. And I know that's gonna sound weird if you've got anxiety, because you don't want to connect, you don't want to feel that, and often we're introverts or extroverted introverts, that's what I am. And it doesn't feel natural, but it really heals, and it's really important to feel like you've got a community around you, not just through a phone, not just through a laptop. And I'm saying this because I need to teach myself that, and I'm getting better with it, but it's hard. I had a friend the other day and she's like, Em, I don't think you're doing well, I'm coming over. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. I can't let you see me like this. I had no makeup on. I felt like I looked like shit. I was emotional. And she's like, she kind of pushed it on me. And it sounds weird. And I was like, whoa, no, no. But it was the best thing ever. It helped so much. And sometimes you need that. You need to keep going out. You need to go to cafes, because this condition, when it's, you know, visiting you, can be so isolating. It can be just, you will just curl up in one ball in your house and just eat and just do the bare minimum, and that's it. And that's really sad. So try and change that. I'm trying at the moment. I'm not there yet, but I'm making it a habit, and I'm not gonna let this thing beat me. Making lists has been great for me. So I've been bullet journaling lately. Let me get it here. So making some lists is just really helpful to hold yourself accountable. Try and get the things done on the list. You don't have to do them all. Sometimes you'll not, but I'm finding it really good to make sure I'm just getting things done and having a plan for the day and making myself feel needed and, you know, like I've got things to really do. And in turn, I'm now getting a lot of work done on my EP, on my uni, on my vlogs. So it does help. This one's a little bit of a different one, and I was kind of reluctant to talk about it, and that is taking supplements. Eating healthy is its whole own thing. Obviously, if you're going through anxiety, depression, OCD, whatever it is, you'll probably have heard keep a clean diet. So I'm not going to go too far into that, just avoiding caffeine and sugar is probably for the best, but don't restrict yourself, because I've been there too, and that's not a good place either. Talk to your doctor and they'll often give you a sensible plan, but nothing too restrictive, because that can be a really dangerous place. But vitamins. So I'm taking 2 different things that have helped me a lot. One is St. John's Wort. I find it really helpful in times of severe distress, but I take this under the care of a physician, so make sure that you're seeing a doctor before you take it, because it can interact with other medications. Definitely do not take this if you're taking another SSRI, because it works in the same way as other serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So just be aware of that. The other one is Fusion Stress and Anxiety. I find this really good. It just takes the edge off panic attacks. It's kind of like the Xanax. This is like your little Valium. This is like your SSRI, and they kind of work really well together. But again, just check with your doctor first, because I don't want to give any advice like that if, you know, I don't know your history. So, okay, so the last 2 tips are Instagram scrolling, YouTube scrolling, Facebook scrolling, Reddit scrolling, whatever it is, stop scrolling. It is such an anxiety inducer. You don't even realize that it's catching up on you until it's too late. You go to bed and your thoughts are really fast, and everything feels almost like in fast motion. Everything's like loud, and it's because you're scrolling on a thing and getting all this info all the time. Humans aren't meant to be like that, and I was doing that so much. Just watching story after story, and it's just not that healthy. And it's an addiction. It's an absolute addiction. It creates a sense of belonging, but you're not belonging to anything really. It's a really dangerous space. It gives you that dopamine hit. It's like gambling. It's not really that different when you look into the science of technology addiction. Stop scrolling, get off Instagram, go do anything else, make a vlog, you know, bake some cookies, build a veggie garden, learn an instrument, read a book, just do anything but that. And that's my last tip, is keep distracted, but also have relaxing distractions, like a bath. I'm having a lot of baths lately, and I'll put on some like affirmations. I'll put a great one in the comments below, but it's one called I Am Safe. And it's just a beautiful affirmation to listen to and go through, and I just listen to that in the bath, and I find it really helpful. So that's something you could use, but just keep busy, keep active, as hard as it is, because I know how absolutely draining anxiety can be, and I'm here with you, but just trying your best to stay distracted and learning, and it helps a lot. Okay, so I hope this video was really informative for you today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if anything was helpful at all. Just remember, whatever you're going through, you're going to get through this. No matter what anyone says, no matter what your anxiety says, you will get through it. I will get through it. I'm starting to really believe it. I'm not 100% there, but I can feel the steps moving in the right place. I have some goals that I want to kick. Anxiety and flying is a huge one for me. I haven't been in a plane for years, so that's my kind of next goal, and I'm going to start working towards that by going on buses and trains and just learning the feelings again of transport and not having my safe spaces like the car or my home. So things like that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat this. You can beat it. We're in it together. Get a good therapist. That's one other thing I'll just quickly touch on. Get a good therapist. It helps so much. But you're not alone ever. So you can just message me on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm around. Join me on Twitter, and I will see you really